Bill Thompson for Outside Insiders. I'd noticed that James Paterson was in the studio this morning. I thought I'd come down to see if he emerged from the front door to offer me a chance to possibly have a chat with him. I believe I just saw him driving an SUV, which I assume may have departed from the ABC's underground car park in Moore Street. If it was him, I'm impressed that he was driving himself. He's a relatively high-profile politician, senior politician, some might argue. But I have seen a succession of senior Labour politicians at this location in recent times who bang on about climate change while they're in the studio, and then come out and ensconce themselves in the back of chauffeur-driven, CO2 belching Commonwealth limos, and in their own lives they appear not to give two rats about their contribution to global emissions, whilst they lecture the rest of us about how we have to lower our emissions. I always walk around to their ABC on a Sunday morning, so my carbon footprint, I suggest, is well below that of the loudmouth, particularly ALP politicians, who bang on so much about everyone else's emissions. I'd hoped to, if I'd had a chance to chat with James, I'd hoped to have asked him whether he agreed with my view that the regime, the Marxist regime of Chairman Xi, oversees not only the largest contribution of global CO2 emissions, being that of China, but in my personal opinion, he likely oversaw the deliberate spread of the COVID pandemic around the world, beginning perhaps in late 2019 and early 2020, when they allowed millions of people to depart Wuhan for all points of the globe, while shutting down travel within China and protecting their own citizens. I find the actions of the Xi Jinping regime utterly unacceptable and reprehensible, and I draw a distinction between the population of China at large and the actions of the Marxist dictatorial regime of Xi Jinping. On the other side of the world, the Marxist regime of Vladimir Putin is making all kinds of trouble, either potential or real, in relation to a potential invasion of Ukraine. And I marvel at the lack of upfront resistance from the Germans, who have chosen to enter an arrangement where they can be supplied by Russia with their natural gas needs. Again, I just find the actions of some governments around the world as despicable, not the least of which is President Brandon in the US, who literally shut down a pipeline in the United States, project in the United States, the Keystone pipeline, but was perfectly happy for the Nord Stream 2 project to go ahead to allow Putin to sell his gas to Europe. What an absolute hypocritical fiasco. Bill Thompson for Outside Insiders.